the world's most powerful and capable military.
Buried on page 47 of the Pentagon's latest budget request is a single line item that outspends the entire United States Marine Corps. It isn't a new fighter jet, a carrier, or a missile defense system. It's a $54.6 billion ghost branch, hidden inside a $1 trillion document designed to make numbers disappear. 14 months ago, this office existed as a minor pilot program with a modest $225 million footprint. Today, it represents a 24,000% funding explosion, the single largest investment in autonomous warfare in American history. This is the Defense Autonomous Warfare Group, the DAWG. It's the Pentagon's quiet attempt to build a sixth military branch out of artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, and algorithmic kill chains without ever calling it one. And the brutal math behind this budget is rewriting who controls American military power. Right now, we're going to look past the classification layers to see what the DAWG actually is, how Ukraine and China forced the Pentagon's hand, why a 9-year-old startup just beat Lockheed Martin and Boeing for the most important defense contract of the decade, and why the biggest autonomous warfare investment in history carries a structural flaw that $45 billion alone cannot fix. This is Conflict Vector. We don't just celebrate weapons, we uncover the hidden math that makes them inevitable. The Pentagon does not announce structural shifts loudly. It buries them in budget columns where only analysts paying close attention detect the seismic activity. The FY 2027 defense budget requests $1.5 trillion, the largest in American history. One number defines it: $54.6 billion. One organization, zero press release. That number is not a weapons program. It's a declaration that hardware-dominated warfare is ending and that the Pentagon is betting the future of American military power on software it does not yet know how to buy at scale. A year ago, the Defense Autonomous Warfare Group didn't exist. Today, it controls more money than the Marine Corps. The DAWG absorbed the Pentagon's failed Replicator initiative, a drone fielding program launched in 2023 to rapidly field thousands of affordable autonomous systems as a strategic counter to China. Replicator stalled. Congressional scrutiny mounted over slow progress, no permanent institutional home, and no coherent acquisition pathway. By late 2025, the Pentagon dissolved it and folded its entire mandate into the newly created DAWG. First-year budget, $225.9 million. FY 2027 request, $54.6 billion. That is a 243-fold increase in a single budget cycle. Former CIA director and retired Army General David Petraeus called it the largest single commitment to autonomous warfare in history. The number exceeds the entire Marine Corps' budget request of $52.8 billion. It accounts for nearly 15% of the full reconciliation package inside the $1.5 trillion proposal. Here is the architecture that makes it structurally unusual. Of the $54.6 billion total, $53 billion sits inside a flexible 5-year reconciliation account, not a standard annual appropriation. Standard appropriations expire. They require obligation within a defined fiscal window. They are subject to year-end scrutiny. This account is not. It gives DAWG up to 5 years to obligate funds, move contracts, and build infrastructure at a pace the organization determines. That structure serves one purpose: speed. The traditional procurement pipeline that governs every other defense program's legal review, specification verification, and competitive protest periods runs on an 18 to 36-month cycle. DAWG's reconciliation account is designed to operate outside that cycle. What it also operates outside of is the oversight architecture embedded inside it. The money is not the story. How it moves and what moves with it is the story. Ukraine didn't wait for the Pentagon. It built its own solution. A Ukrainian frontline operator described the Brave One platform in one sentence: "It's like Amazon for the military." Before Russia's 2022 invasion, Ukraine had 7 domestic drone manufacturers. It now has approximately 500. Estimated 2026 FPV drone production, 4.5 million units. The Brave One digital marketplace has delivered over 181,000 autonomous systems directly to frontline units, with delivery times as short as 6 days from order to frontline. That is not a procurement system. That is a real-time battlefield supply chain running on software and competitive manufacturing pressure. No multi-year development contracts, no cost plus overhead. Verified battlefield performance feeds directly back into the next procurement cycle. China built scale instead of speed. U.S. intelligence estimates presented in open House Armed Services Committee hearings estimate Chinese military-grade drone production at over 100,000 units annually. Not development prototypes, production units with AI targeting integration, electronic warfare payloads, and coordinated swarm capability built into the manufacturing line from the factory floor. China is not building drones, it's building a drone economy. The DAWG's Drone Dominance Program targets 200,000 autonomous systems by 2027. China has already crossed that number. Ukraine proves the battlefield runs at the speed of software. China proves it runs at the speed of production. The United States is attempting to buy both simultaneously through a single contractor's AI platform and a reconciliation account that has never been tested at this scale. The deficit is not theoretical, it is measurable. And the $54.6 billion is not solving it with hardware. In March 2026, the U.S. Army awarded Anduril Industries a 10-year enterprise contract valued at up to $20 billion, consolidating more than 120 separate procurement actions into a single vehicle. One contract, one platform, one architecture controls the autonomous warfare software layer across all 5 domains. Lockheed Martin did not make the final round. Neither did Boeing. Boeing absorbed over $7 billion in defense program losses in recent years, including cost overruns on development contracts, delayed deliveries, and capability shortfalls on programs the Navy and Air Force had built decade-long dependencies around. Its stock trades at roughly 2 times revenue. Anduril's May 2026 Series H valued the company at $61 billion, 28 times trading revenue, approximately 15 times Lockheed Martin's revenue multiple. That valuation gap is the market's verdict on what defense procurement is becoming. Hardware contractors sell units. Software platforms sell ecosystems. Lockheed delivers aircraft. Anduril delivers the operating layer that tells autonomous aircraft, ships, and ground vehicles what to do simultaneously. Lattice, Anduril's core platform, is an AI command and control system that connects sensors, autonomous systems, and command nodes across domains and compresses the time between detection, classification, and engagement to machine speed. It does not replace weapons. It replaces the decision architecture that connects weapons to targets. The Army is not buying hardware. It is subscribing to a software ecosystem that will govern how every future autonomous system in its inventory makes decisions. Software is eating the defense industry's hardware model. The DAWG's $54.6 billion flows directly into that architecture and creates an execution problem the Pentagon has not publicly resolved. A 14-month-old office cannot physically execute a $54 billion budget. The DAWG currently lacks the contracting officers, program managers, legal staff, and acquisition infrastructure required to obligate that volume through standard procurement channels within any normal fiscal window. This is not an assumption. It is the organizational reality that the 5-year reconciliation account was built to work around. DAWG cannot spend the money fast enough through normal channels, so the money was structured to wait for DAWG to catch up. That workaround introduces a compounding risk. Traditional Pentagon procurement moves slowly because oversight is embedded in the slowness. Contracts are reviewed, competitive bids are evaluated, specifications are verified against performance. Protest periods exist precisely because moving capital at speed without friction produces catastrophic procurement failures. The 5-year reconciliation account reduces that friction. It also reduces the oversight that lives inside it. Bypassing one removes the other. The Pentagon's maximum lethality doctrine sharpens the problem. It prioritizes kill chain speed over decision layer review. It moves autonomous warfare systematically away from human-in-the-loop logic, the requirement that a human authorize legal engagements before execution. Under this doctrine, the gap between detection and engagement is not a deliberation window. It's a latency problem to be engineered away. The software being funded is designed to make lethal decisions faster than human cognition allows. The institution managing that software is 14 months old. The oversight architecture that would normally govern it is the same architecture that the reconciliation account was built to bypass. The Pentagon calls it a subunified command. The budget calls it something else. The Marine Corps was established by Act of Congress in 1798. 228 years of institutional development doctrine, culture, legal framework, congressional oversight, chain of command. The DAWG was built in 14 months through a budget line and a reconciliation account. One command structure. One AI software backbone. One contractor-centered architecture whose core platform is designed to operate at speeds no human commander can supervise in real time. No established doctrine. No mature oversight framework. No congressional charter defines its authority, its limits, or its accountability chain. Ukraine proved drone warfare moves at the speed of software. China proved it moves at the speed of production. The Pentagon's answer is $54.6 billion, an algorithmic kill chain, and an institution younger than most software startups, managing the most consequential weapons procurement decision in American military history. The Marine Corps took 228 years to build the institutional structure that governs how it fights, who authorizes its actions, and who answers when something goes wrong. DAWG has 14 months and a reconciliation account. When that system makes a lethal decision at machine speed faster than any human in the loop can review, who is accountable for what it decides?